Just testing it out here to see, make sure it's working. How about that? Let me know if you can hear this. Okay, I just had to press the little button. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, so it'll be a short presentation today. We'll talk about. I got a little double here. One sec. I picked a great day to do this presentation because there's a Game 7 playing right now, but I won't take much of your time. It'll take about 20 minutes or so, and then you'll have a little post-task to do after for the Young Guns and Elite divisions of machines. So then we'll, at the end of the presentation, I'll tell you what you need to do, and if you need help with that further, just send me a text or we can talk when you're back in the gym, and we'll figure it out. So to start, we're going to do seminars every week. So we'll alternate between sports psychology sessions and sport nutrition sessions. So this week will be intro to sport nutrition. Next week we'll do a intro to sport psychology. Then we'll go back to nutrition. We'll talk about pre-exercise nutrition. Then the following week we'll do the 7 pillars of mental excellence. So it'll be all different types of things to help your game, whether it's game or competition, whether it's hockey, soccer, figure skating, any sport you do play, this will help you. All these sessions will help you. So for today, what we'll talk about, we'll do a little intro. We'll talk about macronutrients and micronutrients. We'll talk about calories and energy. We'll talk about hydration. We'll talk about preparation and planning, and then what's next and what homework you have to do. And again, I'll ask Carlo a bunch of questions, and we'll see if he can answer them. And if you have any questions, again, send me a little link send me a little message on the chat, and I'll answer it as best as I can. So, what is sport nutrition? We'll talk about what it is, why we talk about sport nutrition, and why nutrition is important when you're playing a sport. A fun little meme there. So, obviously, proper nutrition, what it'll help you do? It helps your basic growth, your body's growth. It'll give you proper health, so you'll feel better. Scholastic achievement, so eating properly will help you in school, and it'll provide you energy for your workouts or just on a day-to-day, from day-to-day life. It decreases fatigue and the risk of disease and injury, optimizes training and recovery, and it regulates energy intake and energy expenditure. So based on your nutrition, you can, if you have proper nutrition and you're intaking the proper amount of calories and things like that, then it all depends on your energy in, energy out, your exercise versus the energy you're taking in through food. First thing we'll talk about, and you've probably heard of this before, right, Carlo? Yes. You've heard this a million times from me before. We talk about our macronutrients, which is very important to know for hockey players and athletes in general. So for your macronutrients, you have your carbs, you have your proteins, and you have your fats. Carlo, what do carbs do?
They give you energy throughout the day. That's all you need throughout the day.
That's basically it. Carbs are your energy source. So most important fuel source for your athletes. So basically it's converted into sugars, and then your body uses those sugars to convert them into energy. Examples of that are fruit, grains, so your bread, your pastas, vegetables as well, potatoes, all things like that. Seeds and nuts as well have a source of, small source of carb, but you got to watch, like Carlo was saying, there's a lot of fats in those. So it's not a main source of fats, but it is of carbs, but it's a source of carbs as well. Very important here, there's simple versus complex carbs. So when you think carbs are an energy source, you think of complex and simple. What complex is it's a constant release of energy, and you'll have a longer lasting energy, whereas simple are a spike in your energy, and then you crash. So, for example, sources of complex carbs are your vegetables, your whole grains, beans, starch, dextrose, which is a type of sugar. Simple sugars would be your fruit, your white flour pasta, bread, tortillas, things like that, sugar, honey, any kind of sweets, desserts, things like that. So talking about that a little bit more, that goes into glycemic index. So there's a bunch. Glycemic index just means foods have a glycemic index. Every type of food have different glycemic indexes. Say, for example, you have a simple carb, which will have a high glycemic index, which will make your blood glucose levels rise super quick and then crash. So then you're getting that surge of energy and then you're crashing. So that'll be like having, say, a fruit, or having even a Pepsi is considered a simple carb. So then you'd have that spike of energy and then you'd crash. Whereas your complex carbs, like your whole grains, your vegetables and things like that, will have a low glycemic index. Not saying all fruit is high glycemic index, but there are some fruits that are low glycemic index too. So it's about looking at one sec, if I can go back here. If I can go back here, you'll get an idea of which foods have the higher glycemic index. Obviously, a high GI is over 70. Medium is from 56 to 69, and then your low GI is under 55. So you'll have access to this presentation after, so you'll be able to see all these numbers after if you want to check this out. Fats. So for your fats, they are a minor source of energy. Fats are needed for fat-soluble vitamins, which means that you need a proper intake of good fats in order to absorb your vitamins properly. What's that?
Your nutrients.
Yeah, exactly, your micronutrients. It improves cognitive function, so it actually helps your brain develop, and it helps your brain process different information and react quicker and things like that. So very good for reaction stuff, either on the ice or soccer field or whatever sport you're playing. Fats also fight fatigue, so you'll get less tired if you have a good amount of healthy fats in your diet. There you go. So examples of good fats, bad fats. Good fats, obviously, you can have your avocados, your eggs, your coconut oil, raw nuts, olive oil, salmon, other seafoods as well, flaxseed. All kinds of different things like that have good fats in them, whereas there's bad fats, which is your margarine, butters, french fries, donuts, cookies. All the good stuff is basically bad for you, right? So all your desserts and stuff will have a lot of bad fats. So it's try to avoid those as much as you can and try to go more towards the green column, that good fats column. Protein. We all heard protein, and then we flex our muscles as soon as we hear protein, right, Carl? Hey? So protein, we flex our muscles for a reason, because it builds, repairs muscle, hair, nails, and skin. It basically helps your body regenerate. So a proper amount of protein in your diet will help your body recover quicker. And an interesting fact is exercise duration increases. Protein helps to maintain blood glucose through liver glyconeogenesis, which means, wait, that was weird. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so actually when you have protein before your workouts and it's paired with carbs, it'll help your carbs last a little longer, so your energy duration will last a little bit longer. Sorry, I had a little brain fart there. Examples of that: meats, seafoods, your nuts as well, your beans, eggs, all things like that. Again, when you're looking at nuts, there are a lot of fats in nuts, so your protein, you won't get a huge protein source out of it, but it is a protein source as well. For these, I'll go through pretty quickly. You can read these on your own. I just want you to see that there are a lot of vitamins that are very important and kind of what they do in the body. For example, vitamin B, use the body convert protein and sugar into energy and produce red blood cells as well. So those can be, I'll let you guys look into this. We don't have to go through every single one, but you can look into here and then see basically what they're found in and how to get these sources. And again, these paired with a proper fat intake will make you feel a lot better, a lot more energy. So there's three pages of vitamins if you want to look through that as well. If you have any questions on different micronutrients as well, you can ask me. So basically, macronutrients are your proteins, your fats, and your carbs, and your micronutrients are all your vitamins. So talking about calories, delicious points. Yeah. So what is a calorie? Well, the actual definition of a calorie is the energy needed to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water through 1 degree. That's just mumbo jumbo. We don't really need to know that. What we need to know is basically it's a unit to measure your energy in and your energy out. So basically all the calories you come in, obviously we quantify the food that you're taking in as calories, and the exercise that you do, you're quantified in calories as well. And the main thing I want to get my athletes to take into consideration is their physical activity versus how much they're taking in. Because I have a lot of athletes saying, oh, I eat lots. But then they're burning 1,000 to 1,500 calories a day, which they have to compensate for if they want to actually gain muscle or get a little bit bigger. If they're getting to midget and junior hockey, they might want to gain a little bit of muscle, and they'll have to make sure they're calculating that physical activity versus their food. So when we're looking at macronutrients and calories, so like I said, we had our carbs, our proteins, and our fats. Each gram of those macronutrients have a different amount of calories. So carbs and protein is the same thing. So 1 gram of carb is 4 kilocalories, so 4 calories. Protein as well, it's 4 calories. Fats is the one you gotta watch for, it's 9. So 9 calories per gram of fats. So when you're thinking about butter and stuff like that, and you put a crap load of butter on your toast, just think those fats are a lot of calories. So if you're looking at shedding a few pounds or something like that, maybe go easy on the butter or eliminate it totally if you can. Because fats are very calorie dense, so they have more calories per gram. So more calories, then the worse it is for weight loss. So how many calories? I found these on the Health Canada website. So these are approximate numbers, and it all depends on your activity level. It all depends on your goals as well. These are all to maintain your weight. So for example, if we look at how old are you? 15. So Carlos 15, and I'm going to put him in the active level, because he's playing a bunch of sports. He's in the gym every day. He's doing jogs in addition to that. So I'd put him in I put him in the active level. So if we look at 14 to 16 years old, it'd be about 3,100 calories just to maintain his weight. And Carlo's looking to gain a little bit of weight. So I would add on 300 to about 500 calories per day. So he has to take in
3,600 calories.
Yeah, about that. And we got to look at his activity level. And if he's burning more on one day, we adjust his calorie based on that. Again, you don't have to be that precise. We don't have to count calories like crazy. It's just to take into consideration that you are losing a lot of calories due to exercise, and you got to replenish those. You got to replenish those calories throughout the day.
MyFitnessPal is perfect for that too.
That it is, my friend. Boom! You read my mind, dude. Yeah. So again, it's a lot of things to remember your calories and things like that. MyFitnessPal, if you set it up, it's a very easy tool to track your food, and that might or might not be part of your homework. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. It's a cool little tool. So what it tells you, basically, it tells you your goal calories for the day. It'll subtract the food that you enter into the app, and you enter your exercise as well, and it'll help you. It'll calculate the calories you lose due to exercise, and then it'll tell you your remaining calories. So it's a pretty cool little app as well. We'll talk about percentages a little bit later, and we'll talk about what percentages are good for which goals, and that may or may not be part of your homework as well. So it's got your 3 macronutrients, which is all I want you to care about for this homework. So carbs, fats, proteins, and say my goal percentages is 40%, 30%, 30%. On this day, I had 44% carb, 25% fat, and 31% protein. So it was decent. Maybe I could have upped my fat intake to reach the goals that I wanted. I know I'm going a little quick, but I got a game to watch too. So, hydration. If you're proud of the hydration level based on the color of your pee, you might be a veteran. So first, let's talk about why to stay hydrated. A bunch of different reasons. First of all, it regulates your body temperature, so you don't get too hot, you don't get too cold. It makes sure your body stays at the right temperature. Replaces sweat losses due to exercise, obviously. You sweat during exercise, so you got to replenish those fluids. It reduces your fatigue, mentally and physically, so you'll be more focused, and you'll have more energy in your workouts or your games, your competitions, if you're properly hydrated. Better concentration, and ultimately better performance. The recommended daily amount, it's roughly 1 millimeter per calorie consumed. So if we go back to Carlo, you had 3,100? Yeah. 3,100 calories, so he would need 3.1 liters of water per day.
That's like 6 bottles of water, if you think about it.
Yeah, so a Gatorade bottle, this Gatorade bottle right here. So this Gatorade bottle is a liter, so you gotta drink, yeah, right? That's approximate. I got that from the University of Villanova. They did a study, and I felt it was pretty accurate, so I added it to my presentation. This just reiterates the whole 1 millimeter for every calorie consumed. Then they have 2 to 3 hours before training, you got to hydrate. And then immediately prior to your training, you drink it again. It's just a reminder to drink throughout your, like the hours leading up to your workout or your competition. More so your competition, because it's tough to always get the time to do that things before your workout. Key hydration tips. Don't rely on your thirst. If you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So if you're feeling thirsty throughout the day, that's a pretty good sign that you're already dehydrated, and you should have drank water probably a couple hours ago, but still hydrate throughout the day. Sip, don't chug. So have a water bottle with you all day. Sip, sip, sip. You'll get used to drinking that much water. At first, you'll think you're peeing all the time, but your body will get used to having that much water, and then it'll use it properly. Just if you're talking to Mathieu Parent, he was with Team NOHA last year, and we were big on hydration, so we're making all the boys drink, and he was just like, oh, God, I'm peeing all the time. Sorry, Matty P, but I'm using you as an example. But then throughout the week, he's like, I feel great, like this is awesome, and like his body was using those fluids, and then he's feeling like $1 million. So it's just to get used to drinking that much water, then it's smooth sailing after that. If you're a heavy sweater, choose an electrolyte drink. What are electrolytes?
You tell me.
Put them on the spot. Electrolytes are your sodium, your potassium, and your calcium. There you go. So electrolytes, you lose them due to sweat, and they're vitamins, right? So you want to replenish those electrolytes, and they will give you that energy as well. So if you're sweating out those electrolytes, you want to replenish that sweat. Yeah, Gatorade, chocolate milk, stuff like that after your workouts, and just to replenish those fluids. Water is still your best choice in terms of hydration. Like Gatorade's good and all. Sometimes, but for the most part, water is your best choice. And again, this is a little chart, and I have these in the gym and the washroom, so every time my athletes go for a pee, they can check their hydration levels, so make sure they're in the right range. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. So there's a target range, and then as you get more yellow, you get into the dehydrated. If you get into the severely dehydrated, well, there's I don't think there's going to be a problem. But usually you'll see probably a 4, maybe 5. If you're in there, it's a sign to drink more water. All right, moving on. Prep and planning. I was just talking to Carlo today about meal prep, and he said he did it on Sunday, and he just said it's so much easier, so his snacks are prepared for, say, he preps on Sunday for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then he'll prep again on Wednesday for the rest of the week. And then it's awesome, because then you already have your snacks, so it's easy to just grab it and go out of the fridge, and you're making sure you're eating all the time and eating the right things. And it's a little bit of work. It'll probably take you an hour or so on a Sunday, but it's only an hour on a Sunday. And then you have the rest of your week planned. Even you could have some things like if you're putting veggies in a Ziploc bag and with a thing of hummus, and then it's easy to grab and go, and you can prepare that for the whole week because that won't go bad.
It's like what I used to do if I didn't meal prep, I just grab a bag of cookies out of the thing.
That's it.
Like grab something not helpful.
You'll grab
As soon as you meal prep, you just grab something out of the fridge and you know it's healthy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, and it's just you'll grab whatever's easy,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And if it's already there, it's easy, it's already made, like you'll choose that. Meal ideas. There's a really cool site from the Dietitians of Canada called Cookspiration. So if you're looking for different healthy recipes, I think I can go here. I'll see if it changes. Yeah, cool. So if you go to this site, you'll see it'll know what day it is and everything. It'll tell you Wednesday evening. And if you're looking for Nutrition, it's Nutrition Month this month, so they're doing, I guess there's recipes there. There's budget friendly, there's family recipes, light meals, spicy meals, all kinds. So if I say I want a family meal. So there's a bunch of stuff you can pick here. So say I go to French toast, because French toast is pretty good. And then you'll see all the ingredients that you need. And it's all healthy recipes, because it is, all this is done with the dietitians of Canada. Then you'll see the nutritional value as well. So you'll see how many calories in it per serving, how many, you see the fats in there, you see the carbs, and you see protein, you see everything in there, and your vitamins as well. So you can check everything that you need based on your goals, if you want more carbs or less carbs, based on what you need. So little tips, plan your week on paper. So have an idea of what you want to eat during the week, and then write it on paper, and then it'll be easy to figure out your week. And that goes for parents mostly, because parents are the ones paying it, right? So it's if you're really serious about your kids' nutrition and making sure they're getting the best out of their training and things like that, it's good to have a plan. If you need help with a plan, I'm more than happy to help you with that. Stick to your grocery list as well. So usually stick around the outsides of the grocery store is probably the best places to go. And try to avoid the aisles, because that's all your crackers, your chips, and your pops and things like that. Probably avoid those areas. Don't forget about Shakeology. So Shakeology meaning your shakes. So shakes are easy to make in the morning. You can make them the night before, and then you're good to go. You grab it and go in the morning. Mornings are always tough. So it's a good way to, if you're on the go pretty early, it's a good way to get that nutrition before your workout or before school and things like that. Mason jars are awesome. Mason jar salads, you throw everything in there and you're good to go. Keep snacks simple. So whatever you're making, don't make it all elaborate little snack. I don't know. Don't have to do anything like that. Make it simple, so then it's easy to do, easy to replicate, and then do it again, and it's easy to grab and go. Pre-cut your veggies and fruits. So like I was talking about, Carla, we put veggies and fruit in either Tupperwares or sandwich bags and stuff, and Ziplocs, and then it's easy to just grab once your prep is done. And like I said, prepare meals into Tupperwares. Mix things up. Always try to make things different every week or so. And main thing is keep your eye on the prize. So keep thinking about where you want to be and what your goals are, and then that'll help you eliminate cravings and things like that. Because if you just take a second to think about where you want to be, what your goals are and things like that, it'll make a big difference, right? It'll change your mindset instantly, and that'll make you kind of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't grab that. I'm not saying that you're not going to have a couple chips here and there or some dessert and stuff like that. Yeah, you got some cheat days. If you can have a weekend cheat day, go nuts. Don't go nuts, but like, we're all human, and we know that we're gonna have our desserts, and I have my dessert here and there. It's just to avoid them as much as you can, and just eat healthy on a regular basis.
It does help though if you're going for that like unbeneficial food. You think of what you're going for, and
that's it.
It changes your mindset.
It does. It does for sure. Hey, tricking yourself, or your kids for that matter, if there are any parents watching right now. You can blend greens and seeds into smoothies. So for example, spinach or kale, you put that in a smoothie, it'll make it green, but you don't taste it, right? And we did that with the school program. We made smoothies, and they were putting all kinds of stuff in there: chia, flaxseed, spinach, kale, and then they put a bunch of fruit and either a little bit of juice or a little bit of whatever in it, and then it tastes great. Mix healthy cereals with sugary cereals. So if you have a child, or if you yourself like sugary cereals. So start mixing it with healthy cereals and kind of taper yourself off from the sugary stuff and more healthier stuff. Then you could kind of stick to that healthier stuff. And I guarantee you, the more you do it, then the more you'll like the healthier stuff as well. If you're a parent, get your kids involved. Let them cook. If they know what they're making, if they know what's in the food, they'll be more kind of ready to eat it. Sometimes when they're not preparing it and it's just there, they're like, I don't want veggies. But if they make it, there's more of a chance that they'll like it. Puree stuff. So if you have maybe a child that doesn't like to, say a spaghetti sauce with vegetables in it, they don't like to see the vegetables, puree it, blend it, and then put it all together, and then they don't know. And they won't know the difference when they taste it. Match for color. So take a bunch of colors and make it colorful. Sometimes when it's more fun, it's more interesting. Bake veggies in. You can make zucchini bread and things like that. There's some cool recipes on that Cookspiration website. So take a look there. There's some cool healthy dessert recipes which are pretty good. Make meals hands-on. So if you're busy with your hands while you're eating, it's more fun, and there's different things you can do for that, whether it's fajitas or you make little cucumber boats, or I don't know. But if you make it a little fun, and again, it doesn't have to be complicated, but it's just sometimes if you make it fun, it's more they want to eat it more. Substitute whole grains. That's an easy fix. Whether you're eating white bread, get a whole grain bread. If you want to taper off, then there's 6 grain, there's 10 grain, and then you can get to the good stuff after that. If there's any others, by all means, send me a message or something like that. If you have any ideas, I'd be interested to hear about them. All right. So, what's next? It's your homework time. I know you got a lot of homework at school, but this one's I swear it's not tough. It'll only be for the young guns and the elite participants that I want you guys to do this. So what I want you guys to do is track your nutrition and try to attain the proper percentage of macronutrient for your goals. So like I was saying when I had my Fitness Pal out, where I was saying my goals were 40% carb, 30% protein, and 30% fats. That's what I want you guys to do. So you're going to actually track your nutrition in MyFitnessPal. So on your phone, or there's a place online where you just go to myfitnesspal.com and you can set up an account and you're good to go. And basically, I want you to track your nutrition. So for example, if I'm looking at muscle building, so if we go here, muscle building, I want you at 45% carbohydrates, 30% protein, and 25% fat. So,
That would be beneficial for me, right?
yeah. So Carl's looking for some muscle gains. So I would put him on this. I'd try to get him to get to this that ratio. Yeah. So 45% carb, 25% fat, and 30% protein. And again, it's all calculated within the app. So as you enter foods into the app, MyFitnessPal already knows the carbs, fats, and proteins of those foods. So it'll automatically calculate, and then you can go see it in the app. And next time you're in the gym, come see me, bring your phone, and we'll set up your MyFitnessPal, and then you'll be good. So I want you to track it for the next week. So I'll set you up tomorrow, and then we'll track until next Wednesday, and then we'll talk about it and see how we can improve your nutrition. So if I look at the other one too, this is my fat loss. So fat loss, I'll go 40, 30, 30. This is my favorite ratio for the fat loss, which I think is the best one. And if you're just looking to maintain, then you can go up to 50% carb, 25% fat, and 25% protein. So if you're not looking to lose weight, not looking to gain weight, just kind of stay the same, I would suggest that ratio. Again, I'll help you guys set up your MyFitnessPals, and we'll make sure we set up your your macronutrient ratios in there, and then we'll try, by entering all your foods throughout the week, we'll try to get all those percentages in order. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Send me a text, send me a Facebook message, write it on the PowerPlay Machines Facebook group. And again, we're going to be doing these every week. So we'll see every Wednesday. Yeah. If something changes, I'll let you guys know for sure. But if we go back here, next week what we'll do is our intro to sports psychology. So we'll talk about the whole mental aspect of sport, and mental's huge, right?
One of the most important things in sports.
Yes, and your mind is a very powerful tool, and when you tackle the sports psychology of the game, it just bumps up your performance like crazy. So I'm excited to do those sports psychology sessions. So again, thanks for listening to me ramble on, but
enjoy the game now.
Enjoy the hockey game. I know you're probably half listening to me, half watching the hockey game, but game's on now, so thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Well, we'll see most of you tomorrow, but see you for the next stream next week. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Carl.
No problem.